The most dangerous mistake a man can make in attraction is believing that desire announces itself clearly. It does not. It moves quietly, beneath language, beneath logic, beneath the words she chooses carefully. If you rely only on what she says, you will miss what she feels. And if you miss what she feels, you will either overstep or understep, both of which collapse tension. Real attraction lives in the space between expression and restraint. It reveals itself in patterns, in subtle shifts, in moments where her nervous system forgets to hide what her mind is trying to control. When a woman quietly craves a deeper connection, she does not declare it. She calibrates it. The first place you see it is in her gaze, but not in the dramatic way inexperienced men expect. It is not the obvious stare. It is the return. Her eyes come back to you. In a room full of stimuli, they search for you again. There is a fraction of a second longer than necessary, then she corrects it. That correction is the signal. Lingering eye contact activates vulnerability because it exposes internal focus. When she allows it to stretch, even briefly, she is permitting access to her attention. Attention is the first investment in attraction. Without attention, nothing grows. With sustained attention, curiosity begins to form. Curiosity leads to emotional tracking. Emotional tracking leads to attachment, but this only unfolds if you remain steady. If you react with hunger when her eyes linger, she feels pressure. If you remain composed, you create space for her to lean further without fear. The second signal appears in proximity, but not as crude physical pursuit. It shows up as incidental closeness that repeats. She stands slightly nearer than required. She brushes past when space was available. She adjusts something on your clothing with gentle familiarity. These gestures are rarely calculated. They are nervous system experiments. Touch, even brief and socially acceptable, releases bonding chemicals. It lowers perceived threat. When she initiates minor contact, she is testing comfort. She is asking, without words, whether your presence feels regulated or reactive. If you escalate immediately, she retracts. If you absorb the contact without urgency, her body registers safety. Safety is the foundation of sustained desire. Without safety, attraction burns quickly and disappears. With safety, it deepens. Another shift occurs in her posture. Around men she feels indifferent toward. Her body remains neutral, closed, or distracted. Around a man she quietly desires, her posture opens unconsciously. Her torso angles toward you. Her feet align in your direction. Her shoulders relax. These are not learned seduction tactics. They are signs of lowered defense. The body opens when it does not feel threatened. Openness signals receptivity. Receptivity invites connection. However, receptivity must be met with grounded presence. If you become overly animated or performative, her nervous system detects instability. Instability forces recalibration. Recalibration reduces openness. The pattern continues in her voice. Attraction changes tone before it changes content. When she speaks to you, her rhythm may slow. Her voice may soften or gain subtle warmth. She may introduce playful undertones that do not appear elsewhere. Tone is emotional exposure. When her tone shifts uniquely around you, she is allowing you into a more intimate register of herself. That register is not shared casually, it is selective. Selectivity is the early architecture of desire. But again, your response determines whether it strengthens or collapses. If you respond with teasing that undermines her vulnerability, she retreats. If you respond with calm attentiveness, she feels seen. Being seen without being consumed is intoxicating. Then there are the compliments that reach beneath surface appearance. When she acknowledges your character, your composure, the way you handle pressure, she is revealing admiration. Admiration is deeper than attraction. Attraction can be impulsive. Admiration grows from observation. Observation requires time and focus. When she invests that focus, she is building a narrative about you in her mind. Narratives shape emotional commitment. If she speaks about qualities that imply strength or steadiness, she is mapping you into her concept of security. Security is not dramatic, but it is magnetic. Many men misinterpret this stage and attempt to secure certainty. They ask directly what she feels. They push for clarity. They accelerate intimacy prematurely. This disrupts the natural unfolding of tension. Tension thrives in measured pacing. Measured pacing signals emotional discipline. Discipline communicates reliability. Reliability deepens attachment. Another powerful sign is her pursuit of privacy, not secrecy, but controlled exclusivity. She finds ways to isolate conversation. She suggests a walk, a quieter corner, a direct message after a group exchange. Attraction seeks undistracted space. In crowds, she manages perception. In privacy, she explores connection. The desire for one-on-one space indicates that she values your presence beyond social context. Yet this stage requires restraint from you. If you interpret privacy as permission for escalation, you destabilize the dynamic. Privacy is an invitation to depth, not intensity. Depth grows through listening, not dominance. The final and most revealing sign is energetic shift. When you enter her space, something changes. She becomes slightly more animated or slightly more controlled. She may fidget subtly or grow unusually composed. Both reactions indicate heightened awareness. Heightened awareness is biological. Her body recognizes significance before her words catch up. You may see a flush in her cheeks or hear a different cadence in her laughter. These are not performances. They are autonomic responses. The body reacts when interest is present. However, these signals only matter in repetition. A single glance, a single touch, a single laugh means nothing. Patterns mean everything. When multiple signals align consistently over time, you are not imagining connection. But recognizing connection is not a command to act impulsively. It is a call to remain centered. The strongest position you can hold is emotional steadiness. When you remain composed in the presence of her subtle desire, you elevate the interaction. You communicate that you are not desperate for confirmation. Desperation erodes attraction. Composure amplifies it. The paradox is simple. The more you need her signals to mean something, the less powerful you become. The less you chase their meaning, the more grounded you feel. Attraction is drawn toward grounded energy. When you observe without grasping, when you respond without overwhelming, when you allow silence to exist without anxiety, you create an environment where her desire can grow naturally. Desire cannot survive under pressure. It expands under safety. Safety emerges from self-control. Self-control emerges from inner alignment. Inner alignment means your sense of worth does not fluctuate based on her reactions. When you embody that alignment, you stop interpreting her signals as validation. You interpret them as information. Information allows you to calibrate, not to cling. And that is the shift most men never make. They seek to be wanted. The man who understands emotional dynamics seeks to remain centered. When you are centered, you do not rush, you do not over-explain, and you do not chase proof. You allow patterns to reveal truth. And when truth reveals itself, you meet it with calm confidence rather than urgency. In that state, attraction becomes less about decoding her and more about mastering yourself. Because the real power in connection is not in knowing that she craves you. It is in knowing that you remain steady whether she does or does not. That steadiness is what transforms subtle signals into lasting connection.